Hello, everybody out there again. Old Buck Dave. Once again, this is episode, I think, 132, maybe. I'm not sure. Anyway, good to talk to everybody again, and good to talk to you know who. That would be who? That would be you.
Old Buck Dell. Yeah, Old Buck Dell.
We're back for another one, man. Survived another one.
Well, I have a few things. Quite a few things to tell you. But
Okay.
you had an announcement about our recent successful coffee encounter.
Yeah. I'm happy to report that we again got together for coffee. This time, my car, it would be my rental car because I haven't gotten my car back from the body shop. The rental car was parked safely, out of harm's way, and so at the we solved many of the world's problems there, like we always do at the coffee shop. Crossed the crazy intersection both ways.
Yeah.
And,
I was going to point that out, that we successfully navigated a parking lot with the concrete, bumpers that those concrete parking lot bumper. I mean, we successfully stepped over those.
Nobody fell.
Nobody fell.
Nobody fell. It was a good day. It was a good day. Yeah.
We approached the intersection with caution and pushed the buttons so that it said walk, and we had 30 seconds to get across the street, and we made that successfully, and we got inside. It wasn't too busy, so we ordered up and got our order in and sat down at a table and
realized the guy did
then
not.
We waited.
Then we waited because the guy did not fill our order properly. He only gave us half of what we ordered.
But I was going to add some color to that. I was laughing about this later. I didn't even tell you about that, but I was laughing about this later. But when we run the gamut, of course, of topics, and one of them I said, I mentioned your hip. You recall? Mm-hmm. I said something about hip because I trust you to be ahead of me on some of these ailments and let me know what.
I'm a month ahead of you. Remember that.
Yeah. What to expect from
I'm always trying
what
to
I'm going to get.
Keep you filled in what's coming up next month. Yeah.
So I mentioned this, and you said, "Yeah, I've had a little experience with that." And then I don't know if you noticed this or not, but old people tend to demonstrate what it is when it comes to health issues. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, look at my leg here, and I'm going to hold my leg up.
Was I demonstrating?
Yeah, you were doing.
Was I? Oh, jeez.
And then the doctor, you stuck your foot out and said, "Listen." Then the doctor turned it like this and twisted it like that, and it felt better. And I'm thinking, the other customers were.
Well, what is everybody else wondering? Yeah. Yeah. Now that I think about it, I was doing. I had my leg up in the air.
And then it occurs to me that we have you earn a certain you earn a certain status when you reach our age, and some of those things they just don't pay attention.
I think they shake their heads.
They just don't pay attention to you.
Guys.
But we had a few laughs, and we made it back, and we successfully got back to the car. We had a good day. It was a fun day. So anyhow,
I have an update, by the way.
Okay.
If you recall, one of the topics we talked about at coffee was me needing to get a new kitchen faucet.
Oh yeah.
You remember that? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just back up to get everybody on the same page here. So we needed a new kitchen faucet. Our kitchen faucet is leaking, spraying. Anyway, so I bought a new kitchen faucet and went to try to take the old faucet out, and it was too far up there for an old guy, up underneath. I got the nut on the old unit was just too small for my basin wrench. What the basin wrench, that T-handle thing with the spring-loaded adjustable on the other end. So I actually have one of those, and I've used it, but it just wouldn't. It was too tight up in there. It wouldn't go up in there, and the nut was too small. So what you do next? You call the home repair company. Which will go nameless at this point. All right. So you make an appointment. All right. Okay. Well, we'll be out in a week, right?
I know where this is going.
Yeah, so the guy shows up. He actually did show up, and I said, I don't know. I can't get up in there. It's too tiny. and he looked at my new faucet, and he looked up underneath the old one. He says, "Oh, it won't fit." He said, "The hole's too small." He said, "You're going to need a bigger hole." He said, "We can't do anything today."
This is in the countertop now, so this
In the
thing will
counter,
fit in.
it's in the granite countertop. He says, "You're going to need to get a new hole drilled," and we don't do that. Okay, great. He said, "So give us a call after you get the hole drilled." He said, "Or we can come out and we'll take it off, but we'll take the old one off, but then we got to come out again, put the put the new one on. That's 2 trips. That's double the price. Blah blah blah." I said, "All right, see ya." So I get a granite guy. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we can do that. We can we can take the old one out and we can drill the hole. But we can't put the new one in because we're not sort of registered plumbers. So he says, we don't want to take that. It's like, okay, well, at least I'll get the old one out and you'll get the right hole size and whatever.
So the new one will fit.
So the new one will fit. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm with you.
Okay. So the granite guy comes today, 2 guys. And I says, "Well, yeah, you got to take the old one off." "Oh, okay. And he had another fancy gadget toy after rooting around in there. He realized the same thing I did, that basin wrench is too big. It's not going to work. But he had a little thing. It was some kind of a socket that fit over top of the old nut. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of, now you got a bigger nutting surface there. So then the basin wrench worked on that. He got that and got it off and got it all out. And I get the ring out. I said, "Now it's got to be this size." And I lay it on top of the old hole, on top of the existing hole. And it's perfect. It's perfect.
Oh,
yeah. He did not need to drill it. The other guy was wrong. I think the other guy just didn't want to do the job. He didn't want to do the job, I think. So the guys, so they took it out. I said, "Yeah, well, I'm sorry. I don't need a hole drilled." He said, "Well, you better call the shop." So I called the shop and we renegotiated the price. That was it was a good number for both of us. So I paid them for their trouble, and I got my loyal assistant, and we put the new one in. So the new faucet, I am staring at the new faucet as we speak. So it is in.
I didn't even predict that. I predicted it was something when they drilled a new hole or something, it'd be some other crazy thing happen.
Oh, I figured, yeah, granite's going to split or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So all that waiting and organizing, only to find out that once it was out, the other one actually would fit in there.
Yeah. So
hey, I'm telling you. So another thing old bucks probably shouldn't do is lay underneath the sink. Don't turn yourself upside down and then force yourself in, underneath the pipes and into the sink to do that.
Oh yeah, that was
terrible. And find out you can't get off the floor by yourself anyhow. Why would you stick yourself?
I got this, the cutting into my back. My arms are too long, or they're in the wrong places for my body to get to. Oh yeah.
Even the pillow that you put there, sometimes I would put there.
Yeah.
So these are things you have to learn as you get older, that you really shouldn't climb underneath to do that, because unless somebody's around to drag you out by your feet, you might not be able to get out from under there. So.
But yeah, fortunately, I had an assistant here. She dragged me out. She said, "Okay, put a hand here, put the other hand here. We'll get out."
Well, I'm glad to hear that. That worked out okay for you.
Good. It was good. Yeah.
And since I was going to give you a quick story about since I saw you, I went down to see JW4. You got time for that? Let me tell you a story about JW4.
I got time for you, buddy.
Okay.
Question: do our other 3 listeners have time for you? We'll find out.
Okay. What is JW4? You know what that is? What that
No, I have no idea what that is.
That's a new movie.
Oh, John Wick.
Yes, John Wick. Okay.
I just heard about that.
Yes. Well, are you a John Wick fan by any chance?
You keep trying to make me a John Wick fan, and I keep promising to watch the movies, but I haven't. But I think I will.
Well,
I think I will this time.
If you're not a John Wick fan, that genre has a certain attraction. In fact, this is part of a whole line of thinking on my part. It has a certain attraction. I was thinking, why do I like that kind of movie, or then why do I like that kind of book? What makes you want to follow that that line? I
I've
don't.
been
I
wondering about. I've been wondering about you about that. Go
well,
ahead.
I was fascinated in the first book. Or he's kind of an anti-hero,
Okay.
and but the carnage is you have to buy into that. I just don't believe that you could shoot that many guns in that close to space and not have more people hurt or something. It's a bit crazy. Well, the John Wick, there's 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3 has been on television 100 times now. Have you seen those? Not on even television.
I have not. I'm sorry.
Well, they're
Huh.
on television, so anybody listening who's already watched them, I saw it advertised. I said, I'll go check this out at the local theater that has those reclining seats and expensive meals. You know which one I mean.
Oh yeah. I know. Yep. Yep.
That's quite comfortable. It was fun and quite cold in there, but anyhow, I got in there. I had a nice seat that wasn't too crowded, and off we go. It first of all reminded me of one of them kung fu movies, where you have your ninja warrior kind of thing.
Okay. Did you wear your ninja costume or
No, no,
no?
you don't have to dress up in any particular way to watch these, but
Oh, okay. Okay.
that's another genre where there's all this acrobatic fighting and
Oh,
all
yep.
this stuff
Yep.
going on.
Yep.
So this the movie is definitely filled with that kind of carnage, but and I frankly bought into it. I mean, I was going to believe that all that all this shooting and everything could happen the way it was, and that he's kind of impervious. In this case, I kind of picked up on the possibility that he had some kind of a bulletproof suit, because
Okay.
you couldn't get shot at that many times without penetrating or something like that. I mean, it's so you're in, right? You're bought in, and
Okay.
I'm following all this stuff, and the storyline was pretty good. The actors were pretty clever, but I came out with an impression of how did they make that? You
Okay.
know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I followed the storyline and the movie, and but it's like, how did they possibly shoot this? How did they act this thing out? Do you remember when you first saw 1974 or something, Star Wars? Remember
I
when you
do
first?
remember that. Yeah.
Well, that's a what? Just a standard good guy, bad guy movie, and but the way they filmed it, the way they with the special effects and everything, I was just so impressed. I mean, with just odd. Well, this is the way this movie appeared to me. So
Okay. But
I'm not even recommending it. Like, if you're a fan, you're a fan, and you'll enjoy it. I promise you'll enjoy it. But if you just happen to get drugged there as a sidekick,
you were drugged while during the movie?
dragged her. I went by
Dragged there.
myself.
Okay.
I went by myself. But if you're
All
dragged there,
right.
like a guy took me once to see Dune.
Oh, I knew that guy was too.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we said I don't think this is even a full movie. So
Dune 2's coming out soon. It's coming
oh,
out. Just by
so
just to warn you.
I saw this and I said I think they have reached a new level, a completely new level of this acrobatic, um, an acrobatic shoot 'em up kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
and the just a plethora of weapons and all these little twists and turns. So if you don't buy into all that, if you're not into that, or if you can overlook all the shooting, look at the stunts that he pulled and walked away from, and people were laughing at me in the movie because some of the things that happened to our hero, I was going, oh, that's impossible. I'm screaming, I'm shouting to myself, and I can hear people laughing in the background because he makes this
It's
fall, and I know that if I even fell half that distance and
yeah.
landed on what he landed on, there's no way you're going
Yeah.
to get up off the ground and walk away. Yet he gets up and carries on fighting. So, in a way, I laughed at that, but I actually groaned a couple times when he did some stunts. If I don't think it was John
they have
personally, somebody.
stuntmen. They have
Yeah,
stuntmen.
that's
Yeah,
not.
it wasn't Keanu. I can
So
guarantee you.
okay, so without giving this the ending away, because it's easy to it would easily spoil it for you. I totally recommend if you're a fan or if you may buy into that genre to go ahead and check it out. John Wick 4. It's a long movie. Go with somebody who will support your
Put up
vision
with it.
there.
Yeah.
Put up with it. Yeah, so put up with it and see John Wick 4. So there you go.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of a movie review there.
Yeah, kind of a movie review.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Somebody may go. Who knows?
Somebody
Maybe
may
they'll
go.
call in. And if they want to call in and talk about it, we will welcome that.
So there's lots of guns. There's lots of blood. There's lots of acrobatics.
You don't see a lot of blood, but there was enough to it had to be enough. I mean, it's just funny. Guns with huge amounts of capacity and his ability to load them quickly. It just goes on and on and on and on. Hey, which brings me to another question, Dave. I have a question for you, and thank you for indulging me in my little John Wick review there. Do you belong to a book club?
A book club. I do not belong to a book club. My wife belongs to a book club.
Is her book club the type that you everybody reads the book and you discuss it, or everybody reads a book and they talk about it?
Well, they have books assigned through the year, and I don't know if it's monthly or every 3 weeks or whatever they get together. Maybe.
Okay, so it's that type.
So
it's
they have the book.
of...
So they do a ranking and rating system, and then they pick the books for the year, and then they read them, and then they get together and talk about the book of the month, as it were.
Okay, so if we agree on the book, we all read the same book and then talk about it.
That's how it works. Yeah,
that's how that works. Well, I belong to a book club like that, and the advantages are that you are forced to read stuff out of your comfort zone, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I actually kind of like the ones where I start to respect, like when you read a book and you tell me about it, often it's something you thought I would like. And I've looked at some of those, and we've exchanged many books over time.
Yep.
We talked about this in the past.
Yep.
So I like that style myself. The point I'm trying to make here is when we choose a book that we like, there's certain criteria, and then books that we don't like. There's just something that draws us to a certain style of reading, whatever. And I think it transfers over to movies and the same thing. I've been fascinated by how writers write to sell books, and how sometimes they write where the book is just, it's very popular. I don't know. There's just something about the storyline or something that does it. So I'm a fan of getting a referral, but I'm really fascinated by how people why they pick the books they pick, why they like to read what they like. So that's my question.
Is that a question to me, or is that
sort of a question
to all our listeners, or?
All our listeners are always welcome.
Well, I
think
I mean, I think you gravitate to the genre, the kind of books you like. I can give you an example of that, actually.
Give me an example of a book. I mean, you told me many books that you've read that you've enjoyed.
Yeah. I just finished 2 books, neither of which I really loved. Okay, and in one case, I was kind of going outside my comfort zone on purpose, and this was a book called Blonde Faith by Walter Mosley. Okay, it's a murder mystery, and the protagonist is Easy Rawlins, and this is like number 11 in the Easy Rawlins chronology. I'd read Mosley's a collection of short stories here, and I liked them. I liked a couple of them really a lot, and I thought, okay, well, I'm not real big on these murder mysteries. They're all kind of following the same plot, it seems. But let me read it. So, he's written a ton of these books, and I just found this book really over the top. All the women are beautiful. All the women find him incredibly attractive, and In the meantime, he's pining away about the love of his life who's got away and is marrying somebody else, you know. And of course, you know, people are turning up dead everywhere. And I just thought it was, boy, it was like cookie cutter. So I really didn't like the book at all. So I, you know, I ventured outside my comfort zone, and this time I lost. Speaking of
And
that, I'm
you
sorry, go ahead.
and you finished it. You actually went
I
to
did
the.
finish it. I thought, you know, I'm going to finish this book and see if he's got some clever twists and turns. And he didn't. I like Mosley. As I say, I like his short stories. I've enjoyed watching him speak on TV. But boy, oh boy, I'm not going to read any more Easy Rollins. It wasn't for me. Now, you know, I'd give it maybe like 2 stars out of 5. This book is like on Goodreads. It's averaging like 4.1 out of 5. So the people that are reading it are loving it, and I'm guessing those are the people that like that genre. So it's probably above average for the genre, but it's just not a genre that I enjoy particularly. So
So that's this is what I was trying to thinking about. I was or kind of thinking about during when I was watching this movie. It's like not everybody would enjoy this. You know what I mean? And I guess it's the diversity of people that make the world turn. And I often wondered if I could just if I bet if I could I'd make $1 million if I could pick, you know what I mean? Say, listen, this is what these people will like. You know what I mean? If you could say, if I write it this way,
well, you have to write it. Yeah.
yeah, I'll write it this
Yeah.
way. This is exactly what they will buy. And I can make a ton of money on this. All I have to do is write this. So like that Kurt Vonnegut little thing that he did where he explains how to write a book. Remember that little video
Yes.
we watched?
Yes. Yeah. That was
one,
great.
that
That
was
was
great.
classic. Yeah. But hey,
So
now you have artificial intelligence. Just tap into Chat GPT and say, I'm going to write me a book about this and this and this and this, and you'll get a book. So
okay.
it can be done. It can be done.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this since you've talked about artificial intelligence, we're talking about writing. What if artificial intelligence was to accumulate basically all the knowledge and facts associated with a certain illness? And you said, I have this thing, and they would just simply be able to diagnose it for you. Is that not possible?
I think that's the direction. That's one of the positive uses for artificial intelligence.
So
Absolutely.
we could be heading to that thing.
Yeah, it'll be a diagnostic aid. Absolutely. Yeah. Well,
That's interesting.
let me tell you a story.
All right, tell me the
Okay.
story.
Now this
Tell me the
was I was
story.
this was in I was this was in the 70s, and I was in graduate school. It was a graduate level statistics course. And our teacher, this was in Philadelphia, and our teacher, who I think he bounced back and forth between Penn and us, and he said, well, you know, at the University of Pennsylvania, they're doing some research on cancer research on identifying tumors. And he said they got, you know, they took a bunch of pictures of, you know, from the slides of tumor cells, malignant cells, and they said, and you got to remember, our AI was, you know, didn't have the horsepower that it has today. This was back in the infancy.
Yeah.
And they said, okay, now this is a cancer cell. And they said, you know, they just let it do its thing, and it, you know, takes a cube root and a square and, you know, a tangent and colorations and this and that. And they fed them a bunch of slides that say this is cancer, this is cancer, this is cancer, and some this is not cancer, this is not cancer. And then they fed it one. We don't know what this one is. What is it? And in it accurately identified it as cancer in that case. So
So in its infancy, they've already thought of this. So I wonder why there hasn't been. I mean, we're talking about fake, you know, writing stories or something, but I wonder why they're not talking about the positive aspects of that.
oh, people are talking about the positive aspects. There are, you know, there's a bunch of things that AI can help us with. You know, there's the danger of the AI getting in the hands of the wrong people to create fake news. So that that's really the danger, that it's going to
mean to mislead, purposely
mislead
mislead.
people, purposely mislead people. Yeah, create a fake, a false narrative.
Well, I'll if that was a case where there was I mean, maybe they had a certain area, maybe every hospital didn't have this, but that where they sort of monitored it somewhat. But that'd be a real big help if they had that uh, knowledge of all those little variations of a disease, and you can say you've got this kind of skin problem, and this is what
And in
that
fact,
might be very helpful.
well, and in fact, that's what a lot of the diagnostic techniques like MRI and that sort of thing. It's it's been using that to some extent already. This is not something that just started in December. AI has been around since the 50s in one form or another.
I always thought those things had to be read by a doctor or something. It's nothing more than a picture.
You can train it the same way.
Aha.
You asked about,
look at the picture, tell me what it is. There you go.
your original question was, what if you could dump all the information that humanity has? Well, that's kind of what they do. All right.
Okay.
It's not all the information humanity has, but I just saw an article on I think it was the Bard, and they showed there were 67 listing of 67 pages of the references that they've dumped into the database for this thing. Now the first 10 references were like Wikipedia, all the Wikipedia entries, all the Washington Post stories, all the New York Times stories, all of this, all the patent database, this other database, okay, and those added up to 1% of what it had. Okay, so I mean, there was 66 and a half pages to go. So it's a massive database, and the bigger the database gets, the better the prediction can be.
Well, let's hope they succeed at least on that line, and we won't be duped too much by the misuse of AI. But we'll see. I don't follow it too much, but that would be a big help. So
okay. Well, I'm not going to talk about the other book right now. We can save the other dog book for another time.
Well, let me encourage any of our listeners to write in. I was curious to see why they like what they like. Mm-hmm. That's because I mean, some of those fictional history things, or with some, I like stuff like that sometime. And there's books of writers that I stopped reading because it was a boilerplate. You know what I mean? It's just over and over again with the same protagonist. So yeah, it's BUCKSTWOOLD at gmail.com.
At the bottom of the liner notes, or you can voicemail us. There's a free voicemail. Doesn't write down your phone number or anything. It's just straight to us.
I like this because I enjoy reading about that or something, and I'd be curious to see what they say. So
yeah, we'll mention one other quick thing. Talk about what you like. I just finished a 6-part series on Amazon. It's called The English, and it's a Western, and it's produced by BBC. Okay, it's 6 parts. It's about this English aristocrat woman played by Emily Blunt, and the other protagonist is a Pawnee. He's an ex-army scout, and he's played by, I'm probably getting his name wrong, but it's like a Chasky Spenger, Spencer Spenger. Anyway, takes place in 1890. She's out, and she's come over into the West looking to avenge the death of her son. He's on a quest to claim a homestead because he says, okay, I'm an Army veteran now. I'm entitled to, 40 acres and a mule, whatever it is. And he's on a quest to claim his entitlement. And they kind of hook up and help each other along the way on the travels. And it's kind of a really a surrealistic journey in a way. Lots of subplots, maybe too many, but the main storyline of them both seeking justice is really excellent. So I would recommend The English, a 6-part series on Amazon.
Now, see, that sounds like an interesting story. Is it the challenge of trying to think through the plot, or is it the plot itself that intrigues you?
Yeah, it's the plot. Yeah, I mean, it's the plot of how they get from point A to point B, and the discovery along the way that things are not exactly as you thought they were. You keep learning new things along the way, which I think makes it interesting. So,
Well, you have a science background. I would see where that would appeal to you. And I have a history background, and maybe that's what forms the track. You know what I mean?
okay, yeah. Well,
I'm
listen,
guessing. I don't know. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
Sometimes all I know is that we've overlapped in a lot of interesting stories, and we've discovered some by chance. And so
Yeah. So
we'll see.
listen, given that you have a history background,
Mhm.
I think it's time for Stump the Buck. We haven't
Appropriate
tried to
music's playing in the
we haven't tried
background.
to
Yeah.
stump you for a while. So
All right. Well, maybe I'll get this one. Go ahead.
I think there's a very good chance you're going to get this one. Okay, it's a person. All right,
Okay.
all right. Now here's clue number one. You're going to get three clues, like always, if you need them. Clue number one: Champion Lakes.
Clue number one: Champion Lakes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Nothing. Clue number two.
Yeah.
Okay. At 5'11", he was an All-American basketball player in college, but he played only one season in the NBA.
He did play in the NBA at 5'11".
5'11", All-American, set the scoring record at his school.
Michael Jordan.
He's not 5'11".
Well, he's not very big on his shoe. So maybe.
And he played more than one season in the NBA, as I recall. I'm going to have to give you clue number three. I think you're going to slam it. Okay. He was the 1960 MVP.
1960 MVP.
Calling your history into play now.
Pistol Pete Maravich. No, he played more than that.
No. I'll give you a sub hint, a sub clue here. In addition to being the 1960 MVP, he was the National League batting champion.
Huh. 1960. Bill Mazeroski.
You are one position away.
Move
over to the other side of the diamond.
On that team.
On that team. You are so close, buddy. He's the other half of that double play combination.
Oh, who was the first baseman?
No, the shortstop.
Oh, who was that shortstop?
Come on. You gotta know this. I thought you'd nail this one. All right. Dick Groat.
Dick Groat.
He just died at age 92. Yeah.
I'll be darned.
Remember Dick Groat for the Pirates?
Yep. Groat, Mazeroski. Who played third base? You remember? On that particular team. And I was a big, tall guy that played first.
Was that Frank
base.
Thomas? Or?
I don't know.
No,
Frank
Thomas.
I'll have to Google that one. That's interesting.
Remember, first base was what's his name? Dick. They called him Dr. Strangeglove because he was such a bad fielder, but he was a home run hitter.
He's a lefty. He was a left-handed guy, right?
Okay. Anyway, so Dick Groat just died.
Dick Groat passed away.
Yeah, he was, played for Pittsburgh. He got another World Series ring at St. Louis, 5-time All-Star. Set the single season scoring record at Duke, which held up for many, many years. He's second now. He's still ahead of Christian Laettner and a bunch of other people that you would have guessed.
Well, I don't know if you feel this or not, but and maybe some of our Buck listeners, depending on what age group they're in, feel it or not, but I'm noticing time is creeping up on us. You see some people that we knew and are now gone, and everything is changing. So, yep,
everything's changing.
Everything is changing. Time is taking its toll.
You know what they say: the more it changes, the more it stays the same.
Oh, well,
maybe I said that. I don't know.
Maybe you said that, but I don't know. But I just, when you mentioned that, you just think somebody else that we knew in our time. Our period is now fading away. That
guy was one of my heroes. Really, geez, he was such such a steady Eddie. He was just a good guy. He was not flamboyant. You know, he'd go out and make a super play, and just come, okay, everything's good.
Well, I guess we were lucky to be in a time when we could love a team like that, and then
Yeah,
and embrace the players and
boy,
respect them and all that stuff like that. So
yeah.
it was a good time to be young, I suppose. Then.
So your history didn't help you that time.
No, it didn't. I know a lot of history stuff, but sometimes I'm not that good at sports. Hey, we have a second. I think we have a loyal listener, VV1.
Yeah,
Big
I
shout
remember
out.
her. Sure.
Yeah, she's a lovely lady. We always talk about her. Big shout out to her, and just to tell her that we feel for the loss of her friend. She just lost a very good friend to time.
Yep.
So wish her all the best, and anybody else who maybe has lost a few friends, because friendship means a lot to us. If you lost a friend last year or so.
Amen.
So, hey, Dave, I suppose it's time we ought to motor, huh?
I think we're getting close. Yep. Let's it's probably time to call it a day. So I've got some other things on my list here, but they're always going to be good for the next time. And I will throw out to everybody that we're on a prowl here for new authors to interview.
Mm-hmm.
We've got
right.
Dale and I are going to meet with somebody this weekend, and then somebody else maybe next week to see if we can talk them into being on the old Bucks. So
somebody who actually wrote a book, huh?
Somebody who actually wrote a book, because the author interviews seem to be the most popular episodes that we have. So we're going to do more of this.
We'll do some more of that. So, well, we'll look forward to that too. So,
and having said that,
yep, this is old Buck Dale saying thanks for listening. We'll talk to you again.
This is old Buck Dave saying the same thing. Talk to you next time, folks. Have a good week. Bye-bye.